Help Paranoid Times, something is just not right. Hello listeners, we at Paranoid Times decided that each week we will post a video on subscribers' questions, comments, and emails. We all live in a very confusing world, many of us have just started to find that something is not quite right. Here is one such case. Help Paranoid Times, something is just not right. Something incredibly strange and quite terrifying happened to me today. My 2-year-old son and I were at our local grocery store shopping for some alcohol, some snacks, and other goodies for our housewarming party tonight. I turned down the chip aisle and from a distance I hear, "Jessica? Is that you?" First of all, nobody calls me Jessica except for my mother. It's either Jessie or Jess. The one exception to that was my high school boyfriend and first love, we can call him Charlie. I turn around and to my surprise, there he is. Charlie in the flesh. "Charlie. Wow," I said. "Hi, how are you?" "I'm doing great, Jessica, how have you been?" "Wow, what has it been?" 6 years. I suppose I owe you guys a little backstory. Charlie and I dated back when we were 17. We were each other's first loves, as much as you can love someone when you're 17. It was the real deal. We lost our virginities to each other, I was even his first kiss. He was a year ahead of me in school, but his birthday was in May and mine in August, so we were the same age. We dated for a while, and then I guess he just got over it and he dumped me. I cried for weeks. Went on a downhill spiral, as much as one can spiral at age 17. I started drinking heavy amounts of vodka. It was the only thing I could get my hands on at such a young age. Now I won't touch the stuff, and I started using some recreational drugs. I would stay out very late, skip school, and just get myself into a lot of trouble. After Charlie and I broke up, we reconnected one time when I was a senior in high school, and he was a freshman at our local community college. I had received a text from his best friend while I was in 4th period. His friend basically said that breaking up with me was the biggest mistake he made. So I texted him, he came over and we watched 3 movies in a row until it was 5 a.m. I didn't want him to leave, and he didn't want to leave either. So we just watched movie after movie to delay the parting process. After he eventually did leave, we never spoke again. I saw him at my little brother's high school graduation, because his sister was also graduating that year. But we didn't speak. Okay, back to today. We started talking, just a normal "hey, what have you been up to" conversation. He asked about my son, and we talked about my husband, we can call him Kurt. Kurt had gone to high school with us, so Charlie knew him and he knew Charlie. Then he says, "Oh Jessica, I need to introduce you to my girlfriend, Darcy." I hadn't even seen this girl and I was instantly jealous of her. I had always wished my name was Darcy. Growing up I was a diehard Smashing Pumpkins fan, so Darcy Reski was my idol. She was a badass bassist and she was an amazing one at that. "Darcy, come over here," yelled Charlie. Before I even have time to turn my head I hear a sharp, energetic hello. I shift to my right and there stands a girl, long blonde hair and glasses, and she was wearing a killer Smashing Pumpkins shirt. I thought to myself how similar Darcy looked to how I looked back in high school. I introduced myself to her as Charlie's friend from high school. She then mentioned to Charlie that they should buy some land shark and stay in tonight. "Oh, I love land shark," I said. "I actually have some in my cart right now. Land shark happens to be my favorite beer." Darcy asked about all of the alcohol I had in my cart and I explained that my husband, son, and I had just moved into our new home, and we were having a housewarming party tonight. Darcy said, "Oh wow, I love parties, wouldn't it be fun to go, babe?" So out of pure awkwardness, I invited them. I gave Charlie my address and my new phone number in case he got lost. I told them the party was starting around 7. At that moment my son was very antsy, so I told them I hoped to see them tonight, and we walked away to finish our shopping. The whole drive home I couldn't stop thinking about Darcy, and how similar she looked to me. But I decided to brush it off. When my son and I got home, Kurt greeted us and I told him how I ran into Charlie and his new girlfriend Darcy and how I invited them to our party. He shrugged it off and said, "Whatever you want, babe." We then drove my son to my mother-in-law's where he would be staying for the night. He loves staying with her and she loves having him, so it wasn't a problem for anyone. We came home and I started cooking the food and making appetizers. All of our friends started arriving around 7 ish and we had a plethora of alcohol. I heard a knock at the door, and when I opened it, it was Darcy and Charlie. I greeted them with a smile and escorted them to our back deck where most of the guests were hanging out. My husband immediately pulls me aside and says, "Wow, that girl looks so much like you," to which I replied, "Want to hear something crazy? Her hair was blonde today. When I ran into them at the store, her hair was now red, the same color as mine." As the night proceeded, Darcy was very interested in my home and the things I had on the walls, and the placement of my furniture. She asked where our son was, and we told her he was staying with his nana for the night. Charlie was talking to some of our mutual friends from high school, people I lost touch with, but I stayed very good friends with. It was then that things started getting strange, as if his new girlfriend looking like my twin wasn't strange enough. Darcy pulled me into my kitchen where no one else was. She was asking me strange questions about myself, like where I grew up, how many siblings I had, where I went to grade school and so forth. I just laughed it off as her not knowing how to have a conversation with someone. As soon as our party was over, I was feeling a little funny. I had drank quite a bit tonight. I was cleaning up when my phone rang. It was a message from an unknown number that said, "Don't trust them. Nothing is what it seems." I went and showed my husband and he just played it off as a message sent to the wrong number. He told me there was nothing to worry about, so I didn't worry. Just as we were settling into bed, my phone dinged again. It was a picture message from Darcy. It was a dark photo, but it looked like it was a photo of my son. My husband and I are now on our way to his mother's house to get to the bottom of this. I will post updates if anything comes of this. I know it was a long and uneventful story, but I have hopes that you or one of your wise subscribers could make heads or tails of this. After finding your channel, I just knew this was the place to go. You all understand these things. Maybe I'm crazy, but I feel like there's something very off about Charlie and Darcy. I just hope my son is okay. Jesse. Stay paranoid, my friends.